Among the many mysteries of Alaska's untamed nature are a startling number of strange disappearances. Over 16,000 individuals have disappeared in the remote area known as the Alaskan Triangle since 1988. Over one person has gone missing on average every day over the previous 34 years. Native Alaskan tribes have lived in Alaska for at least 15,000 years. There have been permanent settlements for about 4,000 years. In order to chart Alaska's inaccessible terrain, explorers from other countries began to arrive in the state in the 1700s. Even though there are just 700,000 people living in Alaska, the state's stunning landscapes attract over 2 million tourists annually. The state's extreme weather, dispersed population, and extensive wilderness make disappearances more likely. In actuality, Alaska has the highest national rate of missing persons. The Alaska Department of Public Safety estimates that every year, 1 in every 250 persons goes missing without cause. There are peculiar circumstances and odd hints in some of the inexplicable cases in the Alaskan Triangle that beg more questions than they answer. Where are all these individuals disappearing? Why do many cases remain unresolved for decades at a time? What supernatural forces could be responsible for the occurrence? Come along as we continue to solve the mystery surrounding Alaska's unsettling disappearance patterns. Analyzing the details surrounding these unsettling disappearances could help to clarify this puzzling situation. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Unsettling secrets lurk in Alaska's vast wilderness, including a startling number of unexplained disappearances centered in the Alaska Triangle. Since 1988, there have been over 16,000 disappearances in this region, which spans the eastern districts of Alaska, more than one every day on average. When a small plane carrying 4 men, including House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, entirely vanished on a journey from Anchorage to Juneau in October 1972, it became the first dubious case that attracted attention. Stretching from the peak at Utqiagvik down to Anchorage and on to Yakutat and Juneau, with a bit of overlap into Canada's Yukon Territory, the Alaska Triangle crosses over parts of Alaska's eastern wildness. Numerous dangerous natural elements in this terrain, such as glaciers, crevasses, and thick forests, both entice and ultimately lead to the death of humans. Alaska's breathtaking scenery frequently has tragic consequences because travelers are easily absorbed by the far-flung wildness. Even though the 1972 Cessna was piloted by expert bush pilot Don Johns, no wreckage or even traces were found in an enormous 32,000 square mile on a 40-day expedition. Search operations faced difficulties at the time because of the absence of emergency locator transmitters being required in aircraft. The occurrence that occurred in 1972 caused Alaska's missing people reports to make national news. But before and after this incident, similar reports of planes, boats, hikers, gold miners, and regular people suddenly disappearing without explanation continued. In most situations, there are conspicuously few distress signals or signs of recovery. Paranormal beliefs including vortexes, abductions by UFOs, or dimensional portals opening up to engulf the missing are put up by some. However, inadequate emergency supplies, navigational aids, and survival instruction probably also play a part. Even in the most isolated areas of Alaska, people are rarely found due to the harsh weather and topography of the state. None of these riddles may ever be fully solved. Nevertheless, the disappearance in 1972 did result in a favorable shift, demonstrating the importance of emergency locator transmitters on airplanes. This does not stop vanishings from happening in the future, but it does make it much easier for search and rescue teams to locate crash sites today, saving many lives every year all over the world. Although there will probably always be missing people in Alaska, emergency preparedness and technology might reduce that number. Following the inexplicable disappearances of Boggs, Begich, Brown, and Johns, there were more suspicious aviation crashes in Alaska in the years that followed, along with the disappearances of hikers, boaters, and hunters. The mystery surrounding the Alaska Triangle befalls both visitors and residents, thus being familiar with the outdoors does not protect them from vanishing inside the ethereal borders of this fabled region. The Alaska Triangle has had several aircraft disappearances, not the least of which was a Douglas C-54D Skymaster carrying 44 passengers that vanished in 1950. 2 hours into its voyage, the plane last made radio contact and disappeared en route to Montana. An extensive search operation known as Operation Mike was started after the Skymaster was unable to arrive at its target. Alongside 7,000 searchers, 85 American and Canadian planes combed 350,000 square miles over the course of the following month. Unsettling accounts of smoke signals, jumbled radio broadcasts, and sightings of survivors surfaced. These tales stoked expectations for a breakthrough that never came. Not a single wreckage fragment or passenger remnant was discovered. Unknown origin radio signals were also detected by 2 radio stations and aircraft in the Yukon. A solitary resident reported seeing a big plane fly over his cabin, but no one could be located despite extensive searches. Officials canceled rescue attempts and pronounced the 44 passengers legally dead after almost a month. The Alaska Triangle began to experience more strange happenings. With every mysterious new case, the legend around the Alaska Triangle developed. The 69-year-old mentor and educator Frank Manano unexpectedly disappeared in August 2020 while residing in Nenana, Alaska. 60 miles west of Fairbanks, Nenana was formerly a railroad construction camp. It is located in the center of the well-known Alaska Triangle. It seems strange that Manano, who is renowned for imparting traditional knowledge on hunting, outdoor survival, and land respect, would become lost in the well-known area. At first, the authorities believed Manano had just strolled out into the woods. They discovered evidence that the night before he vanished into thin air, he sought refuge in a cabin. No possessions or footprints revealed his whereabouts after that. Years have passed, and Manano is still nowhere to be found, despite his family's belief that he is still missing. His disappearance into the Alaskan wilderness seems to have left nothing but unfathomable mystery in its wake. On June 19, 2001, Thomas Newsy, a traveling nurse in Alaska, disappeared without a trace. The previous evening, he was seen on security film at an Anchorage gas station, far from his most recent nursing position, with an unidentified woman. The same couple was later spotted by housekeepers in Newsy's motel room, but they chose not to report the sighting. No one has found out what happened to Newsy, despite the fact that his bicycle was found in a neighboring storage unit and his Jeep was found abandoned 12 miles outside of Anchorage. His perplexing case is contained within the mysterious Alaska Triangle. Although plane disasters in Alaska's dangerous mountains and glaciers are not uncommon, it is concerning how many people went missing and appeared to vanish out of thin air. Some disappeared, leaving behind wallets, cell phones, and other personal belongings, excluding robbery, after leaving a party and walking home or heading to their car. In some cases, murder also appears improbable when there is no indication of foul conduct. What then accounts for the phenomena that afflict this isolated area? The harsh Alaskan landscape may be deadly yet incredibly alluring. Danger lurks behind captivating views of freezing lakes, snowy mountains, powerful glaciers, and barren tundra. According to the locals, the beauty of the terrain might lure the unwary to their doom. Is the breathtaking scenery of the Alaska Triangle the only reason for the disappearances? Or can there be other unexplainable forces at work in this enigmatic, sparsely populated area? Thomas Newsy's puzzling disappearance raises the possibility that unexplained occurrences could exacerbate the dangers presented by Alaska's harsh climate, and his situation is still as mysterious as the triangle itself in the absence of proof or solutions. The disappearance pandemic in the Alaska Triangle continues, with more people going missing mysteriously and the questions surrounding it growing. Neither Thomas Newsy nor anybody else was the first to mysteriously vanish without cause. His strange incident produced no hints or understanding of the forces underlying the startling Triangle event. The Triangle mystery is humanized in Newsy's story, which raises issues that are shared by lost people connected by baffling disappearance. The Alaska Triangle still has a strong hold on people, and despite intense efforts to find explanations, disappearances continue. Like other victims, Thomas Newsy vanished into thin air, leaving no trace and no justice served. Departure summed up the Triangle trap, showing the deception and stealth of whatever unknown threat prowls the harsh Alaskan wilderness. Newsy's ambitions and dreams were swept away by the alluring but unforgiving nature, leaving him as just another statistic in the Alaskan void. For seasoned outdoor enthusiasts, the vast landscape of Alaska's Triangle region poses difficulties. Though they seem solid, the glacier landscapes conceal hazardous cracks and subterranean rooms where a person could become stuck. Use caution when navigating this terrain. Bears, wolves, and other huge predators are among the many species of fauna that may be found in the region's deep woodlands. 30% of the 50,000 grizzlies that live in the United States today are found in Alaska. The state is renowned for having the highest number of yearly bear attacks, as well as frequent and deadly encounters between bears and humans. Wolverines, lynx, black bears, and wolves are some of the other predators that inhabit the area. Numerous parts of the state have also made reference to the contentious mountain lion. When these animals are encountered in their natural environment, dangerous circumstances may arise. The harsh weather not only endangers wildlife, but also those unprepared. Wintertime temperatures can drop as low as -80 degrees Fahrenheit. If one is uninformed of such circumstances, a lack of readiness can become fatal very rapidly. Visitors should use caution and show respect towards the untamed landscape of Alaska. Its remoteness and extremes offer a raw experience with nature that is unattainable anywhere in the modern world, but they also increase the risk of exposure or injury from wildlife. The property is open for exploration and enjoyment with caution and planning. Each year, a large number of disappearances are caused by Alaska's severe weather. Hypothermia, or prolonged exposure to extremely cold temperatures, can cause the body to shut down. Each year, hypothermia claims the lives of over 25,000 people in the United States and 8,000 more in Canada. It's possible that some of the people who went missing weren't ready for Alaska's harsh climate. Alaska's harsh nature undoubtedly takes life. In addition to over 100 volcanoes, 20 million acres of forest, 3 million lakes, and a vast coastline, the state is home to 17 of the highest peaks in all of America. However, even the indigenous Tlingit people think that a darker force abducts people. Why do so many people disappear without leaving behind evidence in Alaska, a state that is not for the inexperienced? The 16,000 indigenous Tlingit people are from Yukon and Alaska. Interestingly, their population declines annually in line with the Triangle's disappearances. Legend has it that the shape-shifting Kushtaka, a creature of the Tlingit, traps souls to keep them from reincarnating. Kushtaka is a creature of myth, similar to Bigfoot, but with malevolent intentions. In Alaska, the myth of the Kushtaka has endured for a very long time, warning of bizarre entities who entice individuals to their demise in the isolated backcountry. According to the narrative, they seem like regular guys who assist or befriend people who are in need, such as a hiker who is hurt or a hunter who gets lost. After gaining their victim's trust, they take them farther into the icy tundra or woodland, until, all of a sudden, their victim's soul is trapped and will never be seen again. According to some stories, the Kushtaka also use a different strategy. They pretend to be distressed women and children to attract the attention of benevolent onlookers. Dogs, on the other hand, are one animal they appear to shun at all costs. Considering how common dogs are in Alaska, it's possible that this myth was partially meant to serve as a cautionary tale to kids about staying close to home. Although the legend of Kushtaka persists, skeptics can suggest alternative reasons for individuals who vanish in Alaska's vast and frequently harsh landscape. Bigfoot and other legendary creatures continue to spark controversy among believers and doubters. But going into the Alaskan Arctic by yourself with a stranger obviously carries a significant deal of risk, regardless of whether the perpetrator is supernatural or natural. Whether or not the Kushtaka are real is not very important in the end. Heeding the caution at the core of this legend remains wise advice in the lonely places of Alaska. Even a minor detour from the path or leaving the community with an unfamiliar person could go past the point of no return. The only trustworthy havens are the coziness of the home and the fireplace. Like the Bermuda Triangle, the Alaska Triangle is renowned for mysterious disappearances. Energy vortexes, which are concentrated spirals of energy that can induce bewilderment, disorientation, and other unusual psychological and physical effects, are one theory put out to explain the phenomenon. Some of the strange occurrences recorded in the area might be caused by these vortexes. Research has found unusual magnetic fields in the Alaska Triangle, supporting the vortex theory with some scientific validation. What more mysteries might be created by such unseen powers, if they exist? Witnesses, both locals and visitors, have described having hallucinations, having nightmares, and becoming lost in the woods for no apparent reason. If true, the negative energy vortexes can confuse hunters and hikers. Since the triangle encompasses such large areas of isolated landscape, it is possible that individuals could inadvertently enter one of these vortexes and rapidly get confused. There are still detractors, but the evidence is growing. For many years, the government has accepted reports of seeing unexplained aerial objects over Alaska. Maybe aliens are drawn to this area and have something to do with all the disappearances. Though unbelievable, reports of aliens capturing people continue to circulate around extraterrestrial hotspots such as the Alaska Triangle. The suggested energy vortexes and visiting extraterrestrial spaceships might potentially be related. During flight number 1628 in 1986, a Japanese cargo pilot reported witnessing something strange. The pilot saw 3 seemingly fast-moving aircraft pacing his plane when it was above Alaska. These unexplained objects moved in ways that defied physics and produced bizarre light flashes that no known aircraft could match as they went by. Wondering if they were covert military aircraft playing tricks on him, the pilot was confused. However, the strange aircraft was soon also picked up by ground-based radar operators, proving that the pilot's sighting was real. The darting objects whirled in erratic patterns around Flight 1628 for 50 minutes. They launched blinding flares repeatedly, causing the pilot to become disoriented before zooming forward and falling back. Nobody could understand the high speeds and maneuvers of the aircraft. The Federal Aviation Administration file on the incident remains open to this day. Skeptics claim the pilot saw a rare optical mirage. True believers, however, believe the pilot saw extraterrestrial vehicles. Is the lonely tundra of Alaska now an alien base, some wonder? Maybe aliens find the isolated tundra perfect for covert operations. If so, why precisely do they go there? Do they observe people objectively as scientists would? Or are they motivated by darker goals? Are hikers who go missing easy targets for abductions by aliens? The mysteries surrounding Alaska's alien hotspot remain unsolved in the months following of the 1986 cargo mission. Take the intriguing Jail Hamlin case from 2014. Hamlin went out to eat dinner with her roommate and made it home safely. However, at some point during the transition from her residence to her vehicle in the driveway, this youthful lady inexplicably vanished. It seemed as though she entered an abyss just beyond her front door. How did Hamlin vanish on a typical evening in front of her house? Murder and kidnapping are not compelling enough reasons. There was never any evidence of Hamlin found anywhere, not even in the remote woods or in his personal belongings. Mishaps caused by Alaska's lethal beauty do take lives. However, the odd silence surrounding so many disappearances raises the possibility that this desolately lovely region conceals something darker and stranger. There are growing rumors of otherworldly powers preying on anyone who dares to live under the northern lights, as the disappearances keep happening.